I was up at 6 o'clock this morning because that's when Stellan got up, and he did not go down for a nap until like almost 10. And so I was basically a human jungle gym, and he was just crawling all over me and all over the nursery, and I just like I'm so tired. I just want to sleep. But I was able to let Rachel sleep for an extra 3 hours. So
Good. It's good.
should we start the show?
Yeah, there's a shit ton of Nintendo, good and bad. I think this will be 100% Nintendo.
All right. Well, let's get into it. Welcome, interdimensional transporter people from the nth parallel universe. This is episode 14 of Geekoid Podcast. With me is Jarrad Shaw, and I am Erik Wesslen.
Hello.
Hello. Thank you for tuning in. So, let's just jump right into it because, like you were saying, there's a lot of Nintendo stuff to talk about. The Switch 2 was officially unveiled with pricing information, with release dates and the launch catalog and everything. And then all of a sudden, Trump was like, "Hey, tariffs!" And basically, Nintendo said, "Yeah, we're not going to do pre-orders right now because we got to figure this out." And
Along with some of their own pricing choices.
yeah, so everybody's a little upset, I think is one way to put it.
Confused, I would go with that
Yeah,
too.
yeah. So I mean, it's everything right now is all up in the air. Like as someone who owns part of a company that imports most of its product from Europe, we're unsure how things are going to pan out. Like we literally just upped our prices yesterday by a certain amount across a whole bunch of our SKUs. So it's everything is going to be chaotic, I think, for the next few weeks or months, even.
Yep. Where I, are what's the definition of a recession when people can't afford things and they don't buy things?
Well, actually, there's a technical definition for recession.
That's, yeah,
I'm going to look it up.
look it- yeah, look it up. To bring it back while so I can vamp a little bit. The Nintendo Direct afterwards they announced all the great hardware and the software that's going to push the hardware. And so there's going to be a lot of really great things and getting compared to like ROG's handheld or Steam Deck's handheld, or even getting compared in some shape or form to PS4 and PS5 as far as the graphics. The price, talking about money, 450 is the base price, which was about $50 more than people were hoping for, but it was a number that people were throwing out there.
Yeah.
And half people are okay with it because of the what the hardware and the software is showing to be able to do, to the point that people are comparing Street Fighter than the third parties to PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 and being like, this is really close to what you would see on those consoles. So some people who are more into the nerd sphere as us, the technical, are like, yeah, okay, I can see the $50. But for mom and pop who I work with every day who don't know about the Direct at all, didn't even know that a Nintendo Switch 2 is coming out, those people are going to have a $150 sticker shock. Add to that, bundle that, which they've always done, which is great. Nintendo's one of the few that still do bundles, which I have appreciated.
Who doesn't do bundles?
New
Everybody does bundles.
they'll do digital, but well, and that's something else too.
I guess maybe not launch
Is
bundles.
launch
Whatever.
bundles,
Either
yeah.
way,
So Mario Kart World, which looks crazy, open world, this whole idea of them doing more open world like they did with Zelda and Tears of the Kingdom, Breath of the Wild, opening up this sphere of within these games looks amazing. Getting compared to GTA and Forza as far as just go, just do things.
it
Um,
it looks pretty incredible. I'm super pumped.
I am so excited to play this game with you and just do dumb shit. Do a Twitch stream, a Discord live stream. I don't even
Do a barrel
care.
roll.
Ah, ride rails and then hop onto the wall and jump over somebody else. Like the things you can do in this game look fantastic. But money. You buy it with the bundle, it's $50. You do not buy it with a bundle. It is their first game to be marketed at $80.
Which
Everybody has
is
been pretty okay with the $70 increase in development needs that increase. It costs a lot of money. Inflation has gone up, so it needs to go up. People are going to have some serious sticker shock to an $80 game. Not to mention, then you have other launch day releases like the new Donkey Kong Bonanza, which is again this open world concept, really taking that advantage that they worked on last few years. It looks great. I watched 2 hours of this. It's amazing.
you have too
It's
much free time.
70. Well, I've been really trying to watch videos for this podcast. So I don't know if I actually do. I've been taken away from my wife, who's been watching the new Epic Universe, which one day we'll talk about as well, because it looks holy shit amazing.
I have seen a few videos and it does look cool.
That's going to be a $70 game. Then you add in these upgrade packs, and they vary from $20 to $30 to $40, depending on, I guess, market or what they deem Nintendo to be popular or not. It's kind of all across the board, and then you add Trump doing this tariff, and the next day, 24. I don't even think it was that. It was less than 24 hours of the direct. Them going, we're still going to release the console on June 5th, but we're trying to now figure out pre-orders.
Not just
Uh,
pre-orders, but also pricing. Like,
and because of pricing.
yeah, I mean, they can't do pre-orders because they do not know at this point what the actual price is going to be. They had a target price, but that price could jump up by as much as 20%. Then we're looking at 550. And that honestly, like, unless you're a hardcore Nintendo fan, that sounds a little untenable. Like, because that's more than the original PlayStation 5 cost. Like, and you're so man, the tariffs are really just throwing a huge curveball, and they got to figure it out.
And I hope while they do that, they also figure out the rest of their pricing structure. Like, I hope this, because there is so much hype right now, and it's not good across the entire internet, YouTube, X comments. Holy God, people do not understand their pricing structure. And so I hope, God, I hope that I'm assuming this is the new generation because everybody I saw during that direct in the treehouse, these are all new people. These aren't the old guard that I've seen for the last 20 years.
Oh yeah,
And
it's an entirely different company at this point.
I hope they also take a step back. Will they? I doubt it, but I hope they do.
I mean, here's the way I think about it. it's we're now getting into this era of variable pricing on literally everything. Like I was at the grocery store today and I'm like, this is not what I usually pay for this product. And it's like it's $2 more and it's $5 more than last time I bought it. And you go to a different grocery store, even the same brand, and the prices could be different. Like variable pricing is happening. Like all these data science folks behind the scenes just clickety clack on the keyboards and just moving prices up and down and optimizing for what they're trying to do. And I think that's really going to end up coming to, I mean, it's already here in a lot of ways for digital games. And I think it's only going to become more confusing for the consumer. Like this era where you used to have one standard price for all the SKUs is no longer the thing. And I I think it's good for the most part because I think it allows game developers to eke out a little bit extra profit because games are more expensive to make than they've ever been. But at the same time, us as consumers just need to get used to the idea that we don't know how much things are going to cost.
It's sad. It
Yeah,
it it sucks. It stinks a whole lot.
no, no
The
poo-poo.
the other thing people have been noticing is that you buy physical cartridge, the physical game that'll be in the new red packaging with the new red little cartridge. Uh, but that's only going to contain the base data. You'll still have to download the rest. Almost like we used to with Call of Duties and all that with DLCs and
Well, I
extra
mean,
bug fixes.
let's be real. When was the last time you bought a game and there wasn't a day one patch? I mean,
It's true.
it is super common now for development teams to, okay, we have the gold copy, push it to distribution, because, I mean, that's about a month before it comes out at the latest. So then they're still spending an entire month or more optimizing, bug fixing, and all this stuff. Like the whole concept that you can buy a game and not have to do an update after you install it is like, it's just not a thing anymore.
The catch is with the Switch 2 edition games, is that are you buying really a Switch 1 game in a red cartridge, and then the Switch 2 edition is then a download? So then you get the higher res and the higher FPS and the HDR and all that jazz.
I just don't know why people buy physical games anymore.
I mean, I'm in the same bank with you. It was a good point, though. People who do
Yeah,
buy, say, Metroid Prime 4, are they really only getting the Switch? Because that is coming to both Switch 1 and Switch 2. Are you really just buying a Switch 1 version of that game, but it's red, and then you have to download it? Because it does say in subtext on the bottom, like, you'll need to download to then get it to the Switch 2 that looked extremely impressive during the live streams. Like, that was another one I watched hours of. And then what do you do when you take that to a GameStop or whatever, or a Best Buy to trade it off? Like, that's not a Switch 2 game. That's a Switch 1. And then does that other person have to download to then that's just where Nintendo, it's very, I love it. I love the concept until you break it down to like the core and you go, "Oh, that is some weird new stuff that I don't know. How do you in that case, go buy the Switch 1 version for $30 and then spend the $20 or $40 to then get the upgrade pack."
that might honestly be the way to go,
So
especially
like there
especially if you
were,
can buy it used.
yeah, yeah, Breath of the Wild,
But
and then
so
just
so I think this is really smart on Nintendo's part because we're talking about the strategy to save money. But here's the thing. Everyone on the Switch 2 that wants to get that cheaper version, they still have to pay Nintendo for that upgrade. Because that
Yeah.
upgrade, I guarantee, is non-transferable. So
No, it is not.
they're able to actually save some of their revenue stream
Because
through this whole process.
when you buy the game, you have to have it attached to your Nintendo Connect account.
Yeah, because I mean, here's the thing that has plagued game developers for the longest time was used game sales, because it's the developers don't see any of that money. It's just the middleman who's collecting that profit. It's the GameStops and does Best Buy do? I don't think they do used game sales. Mostly GameStop. And I mean, here's the thing: I've sold used games, I've bought used games, and it's great for the consumer, but it's not great for the people who make the games.
Don't, I mean, they get the initial purchase,
Yeah,
but then they miss the second, third parties.
yeah, and that's why these live service games like your Call of Duties, your Dotas, your League of Legends, where you can effectively get the game for free. It's just all the in-purchase upgrades and things like that that drive revenue. That's why investors love that stuff so much, because you don't have to worry about the whole used game market, because everything is direct to consumer and they can't trade it and sell it and things like that.
Sure, this goes into some of the controversy on pay to win.
Yeah, but I mean,
Audience, he nodded his head.
most games that do
Most
it
have
well,
yeah, they've gotten away from it.
it's mostly cosmetic upgrades,
Right.
with the exception of your Hearthstones, where you pay for loot boxes effectively.
Yeah.
And
Which I need to.
it's random. Man, I'm really digging the new expansion.
I know. I hope we have time after this to play. Because I also need to pay, update. I should probably do that while we're doing the podcast. I can do
Yeah,
two things
yeah,
at
yeah.
once.
You can multitask. Um, so yeah. Anything else on the Nintendo front?
Well, I just wanted to go back to a positive note, and I think this is still worth like 5 to even
Sorry,
15
I'm
minutes to.
being such a negative Nancy.
No, not at all. Well, no, I was. I feel like I was just a part of that. It's not pretty. It, it's not structured in a way that is coherent for anybody outside of a corporate Nintendo building walls. What I can
Words.
say is this system is more ambitious than I and a lot of other people thought it was going to be. And I'm very impressed and I'm very proud, because Nintendo normally does, they do the kitschy fun toy factor, because that's what they've had a legacy behind. And they push the envelope to a point that people are comparing frame rate and graphics and HDR to systems that I would normally have before 24 hours ago. There's no way. I just would have been like, it's Nintendo, it's fine. And that people are doing that and talking very extremely highly about this system, that's great.
I
And it's the first time they've ever done something that pushes it so close to nice to cheers to current systems. I'm really impressed. Row& Co. is a great
This
whiskey.
episode is brought to you by Rowan Co.
And another one, but it's fine.
Yeah, no,
It's
I was absolutely blown away during the Nintendo Direct. Like, yeah, it's shipping with the 1080p screen, which I think makes perfect sense, just standard HD resolution. But the fact that it can go up to 4K and 120 FPS, I was floored by that. Like, I didn't think that they were going to push that, and the fact that they did some really clever engineering things to increase the clock cycles when it is docked, when it is going to a big screen TV. Like,
Which is why that they have that fan now on the back.
yeah. Like, I mean, they thought of everything. So I was really stoked to see that, and then to see some of the launch titles and the things that are coming, like Cyberpunk 2077. Like,
And those who have done some testing and playing of it, they're like, this plays really, really good. That game now, after the bugs, after the DLCs, is a it was a huge game before, and it's a gigantic game now. It's playing so well. I don't think it's at like I think it's still playing at like 30 frames per second.
yeah,
Uh
I mean, here's the
Great,
thing:
good.
Cyberpunk is going to have the ability to reach an entirely new audience thanks to the Switch too.
Elden Ring, I think so too. There's a lot of people who
Yep.
have said that game on PlayStation is phenomenal, and that From created an exclusive game for Switch.
I was very impressed with that. I mean,
Um,
here's the thing. I think
Whoa,
Nintendo just
dude.
backed up a Brinks truck to from
Yes.
software.
Golly, dude. And I mean, the new Street Fighter 6,
That looks
they went,
sweet.
it looks so good.
Honestly, I'm probably gonna wait until the Switch 2 to get Split Fiction, and then
I want to
Rachel and
play with,
I,
oh, I want to play
or,
with Katie so bad.
yeah,
Or you and me. But,
we could have a
it-
bromance date.
and I love the concept of the storyline. A, it's girls, which is great. I think that is underrated all the time. One is a fantasy writer, one is a sci-fi writer, and they're in their own stories, in their own worlds, and they have to help each other within their fictions to then help each other. Wow, that sounds, I understand why so many people are. And it took the Switch to show me how cool this game is. That's already been out. Final Fantasy, man. Final Fantasy is finally coming back to Nintendo, and in such a cool big way with these two stories. I'm so happy.
I'm so
It's
happy
an
too, but I'm not gonna play them.
I'm not either, but it's just too much effort. And I want to play them, like, but this is then where I don't have time
No, no,
to
yeah,
be able to do all this.
I don't have time to play games that I've already played before. That being said, if they do Final Fantasy VI, aka 3 in the United
Oh,
States,
yep.
I would probably play that
I'm sure they will.
because that's one of
That's
my favorite games of all time.
it's already been ported so many times. I can play it on my iPhone right now.
Yeah, yeah,
I,
I know, but I just feel like having that natural experience on the Switch would just be so juicy. Also, if if the Super Mario RPG ever got ported and upgraded to like
mm,
that would
in
be
HD. Yeah.
an
Oh, but
awesome remake.
that reminds me. So they brought GameCube. People have been asking for GameCube, but it's been hard. That was a very unique system that had ungodly development issues for third parties. It was not an easy system to write in code to create games. However, they brought it with a new controller, which is amazing. The one catch for those Nintendo fans is Tears or not Tears of the Kingdom. Oh shit. The cell shaded kind of animation looking
Not
Zelda.
Breath of the Wild, the
No, before that. Wind Waker.
Wind Waker.
Wind
Yeah,
Waker. Yeah. Wind Waker on I think GameCube or Wii. On Wii they came out with an HD version. You do not get that
no soup for
in
you.
and a Switch 2 that can do 1080p on your screen and then 4K on your television. They did enhance the resolution, they enhanced some of the graphics. So it should be similar. I'm assuming once people get to play it, they're gonna be like, oh, it's very close. So but I
Yeah.
thought that was kind of humorous. Like, where's the HD? Because you already brought it out once already. I, I thought that was funny.
Yeah. Also, 007, a unannounced game in
Uh,
development.
not unannounced, actually. It
I mean,
was
it.
announced 6 years ago.
Wait, what?
Yeah, it was announced 6 years ago. And then all of a sudden, or it was like 4 years ago. And then all of a sudden, it's back. But of all the people that get to show it, it's Nintendo. And I was like, oh shit. However, if you think about this, GoldenEye, where did it start on? And what is it most? Well, it was only on that. It was on 64, right?
And 64. Yeah, that was the number of long nights that I had playing
Nobody
the.
has nobody has mentioned that. They've all been like, 4 years we've been waiting for something, and all of a sudden it shows up Nintendo. What the heck? And I'm like,
Well, you know what
yeah,
happened?
GoldenEye, GoldenEye, baby.
It was MGM being acquired by Amazon. Everything went into
That's
was
true.
just
That's
all
true.
this like purgatory, all the IP, and even the James Bond. We talked about this last episode. Like the James Bond IP has been in purgatory, and now they're fast tracking a new James Bond. So maybe that is happening in parallel with this new game.
Oh, you gotta be right. Amazon's like, we've got to double down on this.
Oh
Yes.
yeah,
Yep.
and it's here's the
Yeah.
thing. It's I guarantee you it's not going to be a Switch exclusive. It's going to be to
No,
all
no.
the platforms, but they just had an opportunity to kind of put their shoe in, and I'm sure
No,
Nintendo
I
is like, "Come on,
that
people,
nos-
let's talk about the
that
Switch."
yeah, that nostalgia again. That hey, remember GoldenEye? Look, we're gonna have another 007. Yeah. I'm excited. I just remembered because I was like, oh, and Hitman's gonna be there. But Hitman was there. Hitman 3 was on the last Switch. There was just, gosh, I think Nintendo did this actually. So I'm a little like confused that they're almost too honest sometimes. There are currently about 120 to 150 games out of 15,000 that were uh, published. A lot of them not great if you go to the eShop. Very like App Store esque, like, look, I just made something. You're like, oh, good, that's crap. There's currently about 120 to 150 games that cannot or are having serious issues going from Switch 1 to Switch 2. One of them, I think, is funny, and I think IO already knew this, is Hitman 3, which ran very well on Switch. And so now you see an announcement for basically their collector's edition of Hitman for Switch 2. Because I think they were in, yeah, this old one that we had for Switch isn't going to work. So here, look, we're bringing a new title. It's not a new title. You just marketing.
Bastards. Speaking of the App Store, I have my official report from my trial of Apple Arcade.
Oh, what'd you play first?
The only thing I've downloaded is Stardew Valley because it was included,
That's not a very well. No, what? No, there's like
which I
I
already
don't know how.
purchased on Steam. So
There's got to be other games that are exclusive to the Apple Arcade. I'm pretty
I
sure.
looked through all the categories and I did not find a single game that I wanted to play.
No, you wouldn't. I would,
Yeah,
but my my genre is wider than yours, I think.
yeah. I'm really
Picky.
yes.
I'm particular, Jarrett. So how was it?
To
Just
be
like
honest, I haven't
playing it.
played yet. I just downloaded it.
Damn it. Well, that there's no review yet. And you could play it on the iPad, by the way, which would be probably way better.
Yeah, that's probably where I will actually play it.
Yeah. I did play Lara Croft, Golden Circle, Circle, Golden, whatever. Um,
Golden Circle Jerk.
Golden. Oh, sad panda. I played it for 2 hours. Katie was reading a book on her phone. We had some background
Allegedly,
noise. It looked like words.
it looked like words.
She looked like she was scrolling pages.
she
Uh,
she she wasn't just swiping through TikTok.
no, no, I know that. There
Okay.
are flashes of light from her phone. Yeah, doom scroll.
So
Uh,
real quick, Trump has extended the deal deadline for TikTok another 75 days.
yeah, I know, which makes me even more so not want to get on TikTok. Because the only reason TikTok is here is because of Trump, and I really no. I'm sorry, folks. Those who are gonna unsubscribe, I'm sorry, or unfollow us.
I mean, we only
No,
have eight subscribers, so
oh, that's good. Well, they're probably all our family right now.
probably
I know Katie is one.
Rachel's one.
Yeah, because she listens to that. By the way, Katie, I would like to apologize about any negative yoga comments about pants or mats or yoga towels. I love yoga, and I am very happy to play them, to
Play
wear
them.
them, to use them. We've been talking about games as I look at Hearthstone over here on the corner. And I'm very happy to keep doing yoga. Um, so I love you, and I apologize for maybe not what I said, but how I might have said. Yeah, she got me some pants. They're wonderful pants, and they might be the most comfortable pants I've ever worn in my entire life.
What
I
brand
would
is
go to
it?
I would go to Walmart. I told you they're beyond yoga. They go beyond yoga. I could go to Walmart and I'd be okay. You're like thinking of the brand. You're like,
No, I'm
where's
like
beyond
the
yoga?
Walmart comment. I was like, would you be
Oh,
okay if you went to Walmart? Like, I don't think people.
because I see so many people in PJs and bunny slippers or spandex that you shouldn't wear even in 2025. And I
Yeah,
go, that's your choice stepping out of the house.
yeah. I went to the store today. No, the stores on Sundays just no. But I was one of those people. So I think we've talked enough Nintendo. Or do you want to keep going?
We can, but I'd have to think about it. So we can move on.
Okay.
Keep the flow going.
Get back to some AI related stuff. Meta, aka Facebook, aka WhatsApp, aka Instagram, has announced a new Llama 4 family of AI models. That
What is that?
so Llama 3 was their previous large language model. So it's Gemini, ChatGPT, and then you have Llama and DeepSeek. This is me nerding out about the AI stuff, and Jared's
Watch
just
out,
gonna.
it spits.
It is an interesting name. I'd like to do a little research as to how they landed at Llama. I think it's because
Why?
I mean it's a large language model. You just throw in a
Yeah,
couple
I
more
see it.
A's. It's Llama. Yeah.
Yeah.
So their new models are Llama 4 Scout, Llama 4 Maverick, Llama 4 Behemoth, and Llama 4 Reasoning. I think they're still working on the name for that one.
What are all of these tiers or whatever?
So these are all free and available for people to download, which is the crazy thing. Like
Well,
Facebook, I can't say Meta. It's just weird.
sure.
Facebook has been open sourcing their models, so anybody can use them. Anybody can host them. Anybody can run them. Basically, they're an open source competitor to OpenAI's ChatGPT. So these four different models, four versions of Llama 4, are specialized at different things. Like some of them are smaller, so they require less hardware to run, that you could run them on your own computer on a single GPU. Some of them are much larger, require data centers to power. But effectively, they've been running through the benchmarks and have been outperforming most of the other competitors. So another week, another new model comes out and more advances in AI. It's kind of crazy how fast things are moving. I haven't played with it yet. I plan on downloading it. I'm sure Comcast/Xfinity is going to yell at me because downloading all these models is really bandwidth intensive because it's multiple gigabytes. And every month I'm close to hitting my cap on my bandwidth, which is
I got a quick one. Here you go. Top five. Five being not great, not bad, because there's probably like 20 out there. One being pretty darn good. Your AI, what you've used, you got Copilot with Microsoft, you've got Gemini with Google, you've got Llama, which is a board game, also, by the way, folks. Llama for Facebook. You've now got XAI. There's many others. Your top five, lowest to the highest,
oh god.
for the audience, man.
No, I'm thinking about it. Here's the thing: there are nuances between all the models. For the audience, Jarrad is flicking me off right now.
Just fucking answer the question.
I mean, I haven't played with Llama 4 yet, but
Okay.
I think I think Anthropic's Claude. That's a new one you haven't heard of.
Who thinks of these fucking names? No, I've never heard of that. Who are they by?
So Anthropic
Or
is the
by?
company; they're independent, but they have a significant backing from Amazon.
Okay.
So if you think about partners and pairings, you have Amazon and Anthropic
Okay.
when their model is Claude. You have Meta/Facebook; their model is Llama. You have Microsoft in partnership with OpenAI and ChatGPT, and then
Oh,
you have Google, which has Gemini, which is
notice we did not talk about Apple and Siri because they don't really have one. They are using open chat GPT.
for now. That being said, a number of some of the leaks from the upcoming iOS release basically show that the way things are integrated is that they're able to hot swap ChatGPT for any other model that they want to. So this whole partnership deal that they have with OpenAI is tenable at best, would be my guess.
Right. Yeah,
So,
and they've said that, and you have definitely said that.
and
It's
here's
just
the thing that I have to imagine that there is probably some skunkworks department within Apple that is working on kind of up leveling their AI capabilities
yeah,
because
because remember that came out, and
they
that
shut
those departments
down
were very upset.
they shut down the automotive project
Yeah.
after 10 years. So they basically just gave up, and they have so much cash that they're just sitting on. Like investors want them to deploy it, and right now the market is super hungry for AI. So why
Mhm.
not just burn a ton of cash and build some new data centers and build your own models? And if anybody has the capabilities from a financing standpoint, it's Apple.
Yeah. Yep.
So I mean, they're always slow to market since the iPhone.
Which is, you know what? I'm okay with that because when they do, and we've said this for years, and it's not just us, a lot of other people, when they do, good on them. This is their first year in a few years. They've done it in the past. iPhone 7 and 10. Man, air power. This is their first year. Not so great. But if they are like, oh shit, not good. All right, let's close this. And what you're saying, they have a ton of money. to now reinvest. Do it for God's sakes, please.
Yeah. I mean, they need to do something because Siri is so bad. I the one thing I want Siri to do is play the correct radio station when I ask her. I go, "Hey Siri, play Jimmy Buffett radio on Pandora." And she goes, "Now playing Jimmy Buffett holiday radio on Pandora." Like, no, I do not want to listen to another Christmas song. It's March, April, whatever month it is. God bless.
I, this is silly, but we have a dog named Sadie, and every time I say her name, Siri says, "Uh-huh." And I go, "No, I'm not talking to you." I would just like that. I don't use Siri a whole lot. Um, that's where maybe I am more consumer than techie tech. I use it to say lights off, lights on, because I know it knows I'm in that specific room. I don't even have to say bedroom. I just say lights off, lights on, and it knows to do that, which I think just that alone is great. And then I ask it to do a timer. I'm very basic on Siri. But if Siri can do what they promised, and we talked about this too, to be able to do things within what has been uploaded, downloaded into my phone or my ecosystem, my iPad, soon to be my Mac Mini, yes, that's what I want it to do.
Yes. I, I'm super pumped to see the next evolution and iteration of Apple's AI because no bueno.
It doesn't help that they told us what it could do, and we all went, "Oh, well, that is something I have never seen before." Even AI people were like, um, yeah, we'd like to see that too, actually."
And now all it has, well, like the only thing I can think of is that we have the ability to create new emojis.
Yeah, you guys need to stop. Yeah, also, that is wasted space on my iOS storage or whatever. I quit. I do not use that. I used it for 30 seconds to create a bunch of different corgis hiking up mountains, and then it just kept pumping it out. It didn't stop. I just kept swiping over, and I was like, okay,
All right, you got to
this
send me
is,
those. I want to put them on the socials.
oh, okay, I will. Some are real bad. They're the more
Six-legged
you,
corgis.
yeah, the more you swipe, the more this corgi looks like it's in the Alps and it's about to yodel. It's really weird. Yes. It's got a green hat and it's got the green like suspenders. No. Yeah, they need to quit that. Please get back to like,
Actual tech.
yeah, please.
All right. To go back to the original question of what is a recession? A common rule of thumb is that two consecutive quarters of negative gross domestic product growth indicates a recession, which we have not seen yet.
We
But
have one quarter.
no, I don't think GDP is down at all. Actually,
The Dow's been down what, 1600?
okay, yeah. I mean, the stock market for sure is down, but that stock market and GDP are not the same thing.
Okay.
But here, the other thing too is a down market or a bear market would be indicative of quarter on quarter losses in the stock market, which we are. My guess would be is we're gonna be there very soon if
Oh,
stuff
good.
doesn't change because
All of that went over my head except for that last statement. And then it brought me right back along with the
she's
rest of
going
the
to hit the
listeners.
fan.
Yeah, okay. There he is. The rest of I am the rest of the audience. They're like, "Oh wow, that was really neat what he just said." Oh, and then the last statement went, "Oh, okay." If we keep doing what we're doing, bad things might happen.
I did want to introduce a new segment.
Oh, yes, we've talked about this a lot. Lots of new segments.
No, but this one in particular is I'm going to call it the Indie Spotlight.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah, so I'd like to highlight a project, whether it
That's what
be
I. That's what I
board
try to do with
games,
iOS.
video games, games, not just games, but creative endeavors.
Movies.
Movies, yeah, that's certainly one of them. So this one is very much near and dear to my heart. I'm going to share my screen, so
Mm.
you should tune into YouTube.
Probably not this one. I'm in a garage in my PJs.
Oh God, there you go. I think I'm doing it.
Mm. Oh,
So Alien
you are excited
RPG.
about this.
Yes,
You are.
anyone who knows me knows I am an absolute geek for the Alien franchise. It is the one thing I am like. If I were to work on any IP, it would be the Alien franchise. Like,
It's pretty
just
good.
sign me up. Like, I want to make an Alien game so bad. So yeah, this 10 days to go left in the Alien role playing game Evolved Edition.
They
They've
made a lot of money.
Yeah, at $1.8 million. That's a lot more than their $50,000 goal.
Jesus, Marion. $1.8 million. 8,800 backers. That's a lot, man. The average is about two, three on a high end.
To 300 or two or three.
1,000, 2 or 3,000.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
So
no, I
that's
mean
really good.
this is legit. Also, based out of Stockholm, Sweden. Shout out to
Oh,
my peoples.
your mother's your father's land.
Yes, my well, just my father's land.
Will this be an RPG that has a board, or are we talking book on book on book?
So it is
Like,
mostly book based, but they're all. I mean, like just all this stuff is just it gets my.
he is nerding out over the artwork inside the books, and they're just rifles.
So
But
there are miniatures and character sheets, and it looks like there is a board.
I like the board. Oh, I like the miniatures.
Yeah,
Okay. I like that blend. That's a cool blend
and
because
virtual
I like
tabletops.
that's good too. I really like that as well.
You can play solo because God knows Rachel probably won't play with me.
Yeah, you just play with the computer. Oh, Seek. That's cute.
Well, no, that's the Swedish kroner.
Oh, it's still cute. This
So
is good.
I mean, it looks beautiful, and I'm so excited for it. I don't know when it's
So
going to ship.
anybody who is interested, Google Alien RPG
Alien
and
RPG,
Kickstarter,
the role playing game.
and you'll be able to go right to that link. There's videos already of people who have gotten the test, the prototype, and they've played it. They're, of course, they're not going to be put on this if they weren't excited for
Yeah,
it. What I like as a board gamer who has been in this line for way longer than I thought I'd ever be. I like the combo. It's not just a D&D RPG or D&D Beyond where you can do it from a laptop and stuff, which is great, by the way. It's fantastic. Being able to roll the dice and do everything, and it does a lot of the stuff for you too. Um, to have that physical board in front of you along with the books and the player sheets is a nice combination. People like that that visual, and that tactile. It brings you in that moment. That is great. That's why I have now. We just counted. It's now at 250 because we just accidentally is the word I was going to use, but it's not accidental. We did it on purpose, and then we went, oh, whoops. So we now have 250 board games. There are people that have way more than me, 500, stuff like that. But those are the true heroes.
Yeah, sure.
If
That's the term you can use.
for listeners who don't want an RPG, but they want that similar experience, they want that similar theming. Alien is not something that is like there's a lot of workarounds the IP. Nemesis is a board game. It's two board games now. Um, that if you wish to get into that theme and that chaos, not chaos, more that stress, and that at any point you're going to go around a corner and have the jump scare and the horror of being devoured or whatever aesthetically
Melted.
melted by a xenomorph of any shape and size. Nemesis, it sounds like a Nemesis was a video game um style, but it's also a board game. Nemesis, there's two of them, and they are great. If you love the Alien franchise, they skirted it so closely without whatever suits. And there are even copyrights to that. If you create a board game, there's more leniency to taking a mechanism, maybe not an IP, but a mechanism in creating any theme you kind of want on it. Uh, Nemesis is great. There's another one that is not aliens based, but it is aliens who are, I would say this is more like Starship Troopers. There are swarms of aliens who are coming after you, and you have to roll dice frantically because it's all real time as the aliens are coming. Um, you have to roll dice frantically to move your character, help other characters, and mow down all of these other aliens. And it's called Project Elite. It's been re-released
I've heard of that. Yeah.
twice, two or three times. Oh, dude, you would love it. It would be hard for you, I think, to just find a crew who would want to play it.
Yeah. I don't have any friends.
Not in that regard. You have friends who are into other things. Board games is not one of them,
No.
and then not in that. But those are two games. Real quickly, look up this Kickstarter. It looks fantastic, and I need to read more up on it. But Nemesis,
I'm looking at some
whoa,
of the figures from Nemesis. I'm like, yeah,
yeah,
that looks like
it's a
Alien.
yeah, it's one. Yeah, that's why I said it's damn near 1-to-1, dude. Yeah, it's pretty nuts. And they have different scenarios. They don't do a campaign. So a lot of people have been anti-campaign. You have to do campaign one to campaign two. And it's hard to then get that same group over and over again when also
Yeah.
campaign is, you know, an hour on the short side, 2 hours on the long side. So on average, an hour and a half. And
As a parent,
to
ain't nobody got time for that.
So these are scenario based. You could do scenario one or you could do scenario eight. And it gives you a different queen. That queen could have a different ability. It could give you more different trackers, aliens, trackers and stuff. And it gives you also different objectives. Are you trying to start up the ship to get it going, or are you trying to get in, get something, and get out? It becomes more like a video game where different objectives to do. And this one does it very, very well. It does have a randomness, which is again card shuffling and whatever comes out in dice. Whatever rolls, that's what you get. And you might fucking die in like 30 minutes, but you're not going to forget it either. And then again, you just, if it's 30 minutes, you reset and play again.
I mean, that's fair. I
Um,
lost in the first 2 turns of the Harry Potter Clue game.
Gross. I don't know how that happens, but that sounds gross. And that is bad for Clue. That sounds horrible. Horrible game mechanics.
All right, I think we're a little bit long on this one,
I
but
think we're at 57, probably 45. We're good.
it's been fun. This was like this is the most enjoyable, funnest episode. Funnest, is that a word?
Funnest. It is now.
Who cares? It's going in the chat.
Yeah. Webster is totally gonna take this.
Yeah, and this episode, if I get my ducks in a row,
Yeah.
I want to put it on YouTube.
With this one.
Yeah,
Good. The one that I'm in PJs in a garage. It's good.
you're wearing a shirt. No one can tell it's PJs.
While I'm toking on cigars and drinking whiskey. Good.
All right,
Good.
but
This is my intro.
how's that different from any other episode?
And nobody gets to see me.
Touche, touche. All right. In all reality, I probably won't get to it. There is some. I got to figure out the intro song. How am I going to visually make that interesting? I have ideas.
Which we also did not do, by the way.
What do you mean we didn't do it?
We didn't do it in the beginning.
It doesn't matter.
And
If I cut it in. It's
no, us actually doing
oh,
that. Like
but that's
last
a you
episode,
thing.
you did the intro and then we still did it. And I was like, that's beautiful. I loved it so much.
Well, you got to remember to do it. That's a you thing on your.
You were on it. You were going, and I didn't want to stop you like I normally do and interrupt the shit out of you like
I know it
ADD.
was the heartburn.
We're so old.
I got
We're so old.
I got a birthday coming up soon.
You do. That's right.
Oh,
Uh, Next episode, I would like to talk about Epic Universe. Like,
let's
I don't
do it.
know how many hundreds of YouTubers and influencers went to
YouTubers.
this. YouTubers went to this. So Katie is just like watching the same five different parks done by multiple people and going, oh, but they all show something different because they're all different people. And I would like to talk about it, describe whatever you see auditorily. That's a word.
It sounds legit.
All right, I'll take it. But I'm excited.
All right.
And we can talk about this new Emerald thing on Hearthstone too for 2 minutes.
This new emerald thing?
This new Into the Emerald Dream.
Oh, yeah, the new expansion. Yeah, we should totally do that.
Because if it's good, we should say something about it.
We should, yeah.
If it's bad, we should probably also say something about it.
I'm a fan of the new imbue
Don't you
function and the
stop.
wild
Nope, stop.
gods and
Next episode.
we'll save it for next
Stop.
episode. All right,
Quit.
cool. Signing off for Erik Wesslen y Jarrad.
That's me.
Stay classy, folks.
San Diego.
End of transmission.